Ms. Levy-Pounds, followed by Senator Goodwin.
One, I want to say I'm glad that this conversation is happening. And I would say in terms of opposition to CCA or some other private group running a prison, there's a lot of research out there about the harms that happen within privately held facilities, such as a higher rate of inmate-related death, inadequate access to healthcare services, food. The list goes on and on. So there is a lot of research out there that gets to the point about why so many advocates and folks in the community distrust CCA and other similar organizations. I would also add a few things. Number one, a big part of my research as a law professor focuses on the impacts of the war on drugs on communities of color. If you look at the documents that we've received, a lot of the folks who are returning to prison are there because of drug-related offenses. So perhaps probation and community-based solutions are the answer as opposed to building another prison. I really appreciate what Senator Letts talked about earlier, really which gets to the heart of taking a more holistic approach to the problems facing these communities. Because even if we were to turn this facility into a treatment center, there's going to be an impact on communities of color because their loved ones will have to be transferred to places that are far from the community. Eventually, these folks are going to return to the community and they're going to face difficulty successfully reintegrating. It's hard to have empathy, so there are economic issues and employment issues, as you mentioned, which is, really frustrating for any community. But it's hard to completely empathize with that, given the high rate of unemployment amongst African Americans and Native Americans, which actually helps to fuel our system of incarceration in the state to begin with. So we need to understand that a lack of economic opportunity is helping to drive our need to incarcerate certain segments of the population, particularly those who are involved in the cycle of drug abuse, alcohol abuse, or even engaging in property and person-related crimes, which are survival crimes. So if we're going to look at economic issues, we need to look at the big picture and not just concentrate on what's happening in one community, because again, we may not even have these issues. I finally want to say, taking a more serious look at what's happening in our probation system is critical for this community because of the fact that in Minnesota we're somewhere between 4th and 6th in the nation in terms of the number of people who are on probation or supervised release. I think it's roughly 120,000 people. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And the fact that we haven't taken a serious look at probation means that a number of folks are brought back into the criminal justice system for nonviolent offenses or drug offenses where they really need some type of a treatment program, or discretion is being abused within our court system to some degree. So to me, if we were to take a serious look at that particular system, we could significantly reduce not only the number of people on probation, but the number of folks who go back into the criminal justice system due to probation violations for technical offenses, not violent offenses, not serious offenses, but simply because they didn't call a probation officer in a timely manner, or they didn't get housing or employment, or whatever the technical reasons are that are helping to fuel this crisis. So thank you for allowing me to share that, represent the NAACP and many communities of color. And these are issues that I'm hoping will allow space for folks who are impacted by this system to actually share some of their insights with this committee.